Previously on Deadlands, the Weird West.
A man in a very yellowed vest with a straw hat that's the brim is just coming apart. He's got long scraggly grey hair, a wispy grey beard that reaches halfway down to his navel, and he's got maybe 3 teeth in his head. And he busts in holding a pickaxe, sorry. And he's like, "Rich! I'm rich, I tell you! I'm gonna be so rich! We're all gonna be rich!" He pulls out a shining chunk of gold from his pocket. He goes, "I'm rich! I found gold! I found there's a seam of it up in the Lost Dune Caverns. I was digging around and, well, I struck gold, dang it! I can't... And then he clutches his chest and just... Well, this man is dead. A very large, brawny man with sort of a flannel shirt on. He's got a big Bowie knife on his hip. And he starts to just drag Jenkins out the bar. "You're too slow, fellas. You're too slow." And he pats his pocket and makes to move past you again.
Can I use my thievery skill to steal from his pocket?
You touch someone, he's like, "Yeah." And meanwhile... Whoop.
Oh, okay. No, it's fair's fair. This is a land of liberty and independence. I accept that you got there before me. I'm really not surprised.
Charles P. McGinty, your chest explodes in a blossom of searing pain. So you don't collapse, but you clutch your chest and you sort of double over. You are definitely having a heart attack.
Are you on the floor? Sorry, was that?
He's on his knees, I reckon.
So John leans down and sort of puts a hand on his shoulder and grabs a crucifix. It's like, well, Lord, protect this man. He is suffering from the vapors.
Meanwhile,
you idiot! I'm having a heart attack.
No, the devil has claimed him.
Jackie just turns to the pastor and is like, "Oh, looks like today's my lucky day."
We need to get this man to a doctor.
Can I channel the faith of the Lord through this person? Is that a thing I'm able to do?
You mean like a kind of lay on hands type thing?
Yeah, like a divine protection.
Let's see. Oh, I mean, haven't you got protection as...
I don't know if I can use that on other people. I think I can only use that on myself.
Let's see. Protection.
It says range self.
Okay, yeah. So no.
Okay.
I think you can make me a faith check to see if you can use your blessed influence to calm Charles's racing, achy breaky heart.
That's a 7.
Okay. To an extent, it works. Like a steady hand on your shoulder kind of grounds you a little bit, McGinty, but you're still in quite a lot of pain, and you're like, you're struggling to breathe. Like, it's not so severe that you're about to keel over and die, but you're in a bad way, basically.
Is the doctor or physician or whatever anywhere close by this saloon?
You can...
Or the office?
Oh, they're probably closed. It's about 10 p.m. on a Friday night, so you reckon they're probably closed up. You can holler for someone in the saloon if you like.
No.
Does Charles have anything in his hands? Is he holding anything?
Yeah.
No, he's not. But Charles does reach into his pocket and grasps the gold that he acquired and flings it from him across the street.
The second the gold leaves your hand, the pain in your chest stops, immediately.
While this is happening, seeing that there's nothing in Charles's hands, can Jackie start just ruffling in Charles's pockets and be like, "It's nothing personal, you know how it is." But as soon as Charles recovers, it's like, "It looks like it's your lucky day as well, fella."
Charles nods. He nods at Jackie.
Game recognizes game.
Charles, you are going to take a level of fatigue. So
Right.
until you find the opportunity to have a rest, you're going to be at -1 to all rolls.
Right.
Because having a heart attack it's tiring
rough.
work.
Not good. Not good.
Okay. So yeah. Basically, all of you have just seen Charles keel over, start to have a heart attack, and then immediately recover.
Sorry, I was going to say, so Charles has lobbed the gold away. Does anyone have any knowledge in recognizing gold, anything like that? Otherwise, Jackie will just go over and have a look at the gold and try to determine whether it's actual gold or whether it's some kind of,
Well, I don't have any knowledge in gold or minerals, but I can recognize the occult. Perhaps there's some tomfoolery of the devils underneath the lords coming into here.
It's always you and the devils, isn't it, Pastor?
The devil is a strong presence in this town, let me tell you.
I've spent many a time with the devil, and let me tell you, there's not as bad as it seems.
Well, that's a very interesting
Wow.
metaphor.
Okay,
Got
in that
insight into the afterlife.
can Jackie go across then and just have a gander at this
Yeah. So
gold?
Jackie, you pick up the gold, and you give it.
Oh, I didn't want to pick it up. I think having seen Charles have a heart attack, Jackie's at least just gonna like peer
your
down
heart's
at
not
it while it's
beating.
on the floor.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you're
Oh,
not.
that's true. Okay,
Uh,
yeah. Maybe I double take then. I like go to reach it, hesitate, and then go.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the hell? What's it gonna
Exactly.
do?
So you pick up this nugget
Come at me,
of gold. You give it a bite. That's gold, all right. And you feel like a cold chill in your left arm, and you feel your heart start wriggling like a bag of worms for the first time.
I just
Huh?
laugh at
Yeah,
it.
exactly. You're like, oh, that's cute.
It's like,
Like-
oh. It's been a while.
Is your heart actually a bag of worms?
I mean, yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
You might have so many maggots in it. It might as well be.
Make me an occult check, please, then, Pastor. This is a knowledge of the occult roll.
This is a D8. That's my 6. 1 and a 2.
You're like, that looks like gold, all right. You don't.
That's just a rock.
Yeah, for the second time in the night, you're like, that's a rock.
You've become quite the geologist, haven't you?
Yes, well, there are minerals, of course, my friend.
At this point, Charles is going to get to his feet and he's going to say, oh, maybe I really should look after my health a bit more. And then he reaches into his pocket, takes a swig of whiskey, and then lights a cigarette and starts pulling on it.
On the doctor's recommendation.
Okay.
And he's going to walk over to the other two and look at this rock in Jackie's hand.
So are we gonna get out of here, or are we gonna wait for this man to come outside the saloon and find us?
Well, personally, considering what just happened to me with this here rock, he's kind of welcome to it. But then again, I don't really want to admit to him that I might have acquired it from his person. So maybe we should get out of here.
It don't seem to be affecting Jackie.
Speaking as someone acquainted with the matter, I think if you hold this rock, you're headed for the grave, friend. So I would advise that you just let me hang on to it for the moment.
Oh, you're welcome to it.
So
Charles,
glad we have Elvis in our party.
Yeah.
Alright.
And Charles is going to start just walking away from the saloon.
Did I notice the map? Was that a private thing?
Have you said anything about it, McGinty? Or were you keeping it quiet?
No, he took it off the body and put it in his pocket.
Okay.
But he's currently walking off with it. But he's turning his head, to indicate to you guys, so come with.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackie follows.
Yeah, follow along.
What else am I gonna do?
And he's gonna
Lay down in a hole?
He's gonna find a suitably shadowed spot away from the saloon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna turn around and pull out the map from his pocket and unfold it and show it to the others. And he's gonna say, I found this on the Paul gentleman person. Seems like this might have been the area where he found this here suspicious rock. Yo guys recognize it, or?
I'm no expert, but I would in fact say it's a map. And it seems like this here cave might be the thing it's leading to. Now, don't go by my word, Pastor. You seem an expert on these matters of rocks and whatnot.
Yes, well, I do remember some talk in the bar of this cave that you talk of, and if this is the origin of this unholy natural force that we need to quench and to quell and to smite into the dirt, then I guess we must make our way over there as soon as possible.
I mean, I'm not a miner.
No, you've been drinking alcohol, so I should hope not.
I don't mind either.
Knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to make that joke myself. And I mean, that rock almost killed you, Charles. You really want to go looking for more?
Charles is gonna turn to the pastor and he's gonna say, you're a man of the church. Would you perhaps have any idea whether certain curses or terrible, occult spells could be lifted from, say, an object or maybe multiple objects of that kind?
The pastor sort of looks around to make sure that nobody's watching and sort of leans in and says, "Now it is not common knowledge, and I trust this of you as valued members of my congregation, but there's a certain power vested in me by the Lord to remove vile inflictions that the devil has cast upon this world. I am what they call an exorcist, a cleanser, man of faith, and as such I will aid you in this."
Yes. All very good. I'm impressed. But so you could say, and he points to the gold in Jackie's hand. He says, you could remove whatever affliction is on this here rock.
I could certainly try, but I cannot detect anything in this here mineral. I need to see the source.
Yes. Very well. I will come and assist you. 'Cause I believe in the Lord's grace, and I believe that yes, his mission should be carried out. And he looks over at Howdy, and says, "Yes, do you agree?"
Sure thing.
And presumably now, Pastor, if you're doing this for the sake of the Lord, and we all know he's mighty generous, presumably you don't expect payment other than your own virtue. That's right.
Oh, and if funds that come to me will go directly to the repairing of the roof of the church.
Well, I don't think we need to worry about that. I'm sure it's his own reward.
Charles looks very concerned at that statement, and says, a very fine, noble gesture," and he goes over to Howdy and whispers in his ear, "We cannot let that man get hold of any of that gold once it's sold out. You hear me?"
Agreed.
Yes, a very noble idea.
Yeah, he says, well, we need not concern ourselves with the gold that we find. The important thing is that we get rid of this vile affliction from our holy town.
I agree.
Very well.
Whatever you say, Pastor.
We will hopefully set off very soon. Does anyone need rest?
If I rested, would I be able to get rid of...
Yeah, if you...
Oh, lowly.
So, two things occur to you, McGinty. One, you're feeling bushed, and a good night's sleep would certainly cure what ails you. It would rid you of your level of fatigue. However, having a good night's rest in this town would mean remaining in this here town with Carl and all of his buddies, who, let's face it, are probably gonna find something missing soon. So your call, really.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
I mean, we saved that man's life.
I'm sure that would stop him tearing you apart.
I believe he may not realize the gravity of what we have done for him. I would rather not be woken up by my own neck being removed from my body. So perhaps we should vacate this here town, at least for the moment.
I mean, I would appreciate a rest. You see, I have a case of the vapor myself. And we have not harmed anyone in this town, have we, as far as I know?
I mean, home is a very vague term. It could apply to many things. I mean, you're welcome to remain in this here town. I have no idea what's going on.
We're laughing at the fact that you said neck removed from my body or something, rather than head. They're just gonna chop that bit off and reattach the skull.
Carl is he may not seem like it, but he's a very imaginative man when it comes to violence. You are welcome to spend the night here, dear Pastor, but I'm afraid I may have to find other locations to rest my dear head. But we could agree on a meeting spot.
Yes, let us meet outside of town then. If you have other business to declare, I will retire to the rectory.
Okay, so I take it so everyone's going to have a night's rest, but Charles, you're going to sort of take yours under the stars in a place where you don't reckon you'll be found. Is that right?
Yeah, he's gonna find a spot reasonably far from the town, but close enough that coyotes won't eat him.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's gonna lay out his jacket. He's gonna maybe have a nice can of cold beans.
Nice.
And go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll be doing something similar, but not with Charles. Somewhere in a different part of town, and then I'll just meet the gang in the morning.
Great.
I think Jackie Daniels has rested plenty over the years, so they're gonna chip some small parts off of this rock, and just go to other drinking holes around the place. And or back alleys, exchanging for bottles and merchants and the like, and just give a couple of little chunks to those for in exchange for some much needed
great. You get a few bottles of whiskey. You also get a big old someone just for free slaps down a big wax paper bundle of beef jerky. It's here, why don't you get some of that down here? Put some flesh on your bones. You look awful, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that. Flesh is the thing I need. It's a kind offering from you.
You could almost say that Jackie's skin is like beef jerky.
That's probably why he's offering it. He's never going to eat it again. That's a mighty weird way to phrase that, sir, but I appreciate your business nonetheless. Thank you very much.
There's nothing weird about me.
Okay, you've done me a kindness, sir. You've done me a kindness. Thank you so much. Okay, so the night passes.
Still, just every time I glance at Lily.
Ladies, if you ever need to dress up as an evil wizard, then I think you can
it's strong Ming the Merciless vibes, I have to say.
I think it's because your hat kept vanishing with the old background, so part of me keeps double taking and thinking your hair has vanished because of it. It's gonna blink in a second, like a
Okay, so it's morning. Do you say you had a prearranged meeting spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about where it is. We just have one.
Yeah, you meet up. I tell you what, you meet up by a copse, which is like kind of it's mostly thorny bushes and scrub grass and all this kind of stuff. McGinty just sort of crawls out from under it. There's like a clank as bean cans kind of get shuffled out the way, and he's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, there, Pastor. How was your night's rest?
Yes, it was fine. If you slept under this bush all night?
Oh, this bush here. I don't recognize this bush. No, I have a holiday home.
Son, how would you recognize a bush exactly?
Back in my day, I used to be quite the naturalist.
Whoa, my, well.
No, I have a holiday home just outside of town, and I spent the night in very fine awnings and furnishings and that sort of thing. No, I was just searching for
Empty bean cans.
yes, to do some recycling with.
Well, that's not a concept I'm familiar with, but I hope that you have fun.
I think
I've never been much of a bicyclist myself, but
I would imagine that Jackie turns up just kind of. Well, I don't know how alcohol affects the kind of rotting, walking corpse of Jackie.
You can't get drunk. It has no effect on that whatsoever. But what it does is it literally in the rules it's called pickling. So you pickle yourself, and it just stops the sort of natural smell of the grave that you give off. You have discovered that this is very important social camouflage, because people always know there is something off about you. Something in their soul quails at the sight of you. But that effect is nothing compared to how people react if they can smell that you're a corpse. So you turn up stinking of alcohol. Like, you smell like you've been on a week-long bender. But you don't smell like a dead body, so swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
What evil deeds did you get up to last night, sir? If your brothers could see you now.
He had himself a good time by the smell of it.
You could say that.
I would adhere to, that's for sure.
I offer some of the remaining whiskey to the group.
I take some.
I would wipe the top before you drink it, but
it tastes weird. It tastes weird, and it looks.
Don't mind the bits.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's almost like the worm in the mezcal, but it's a tooth.
It's like
You're not aware of this brand, but it's a weird marketing trick that they're pulling there. Okay, so everyone has some whiskey apart from the preacher. Breakfast of Champions.
Can I grab the rest of the whiskey that's in the bottle and cork it and shove it in my pocket? Sort of like I was pretending to take a drink and then just confiscated it.
Sure, yeah.
Now, Pastor, I don't know what you're trying here, but I would advise you not to do that.
Why are we treating this guy?
We have business. Can we get to the business?
We're gonna have
please?
business if you take away my whiskey. Now, give it back to me, and we can proceed.
I'll think about it. Now, what can we talk about? What's happening here? We have a horrible infestation of some kind of curse in this town, and y'all are sitting around sipping on drinks.
Yes. Good point, Pastor. No, you still got that there rock now, don't you, Jackie? Yeah.
That's right. Most of it is or let's say all of it's still here.
Now my ears did detect you say most of it, as if there was some of it potentially not there.
Oh, who could say? I'm no geologist myself. I'll leave that to the pastor.
Perhaps we could have a look at it just to get our eyes on the prize, as it were.
Jackie holds it out. I would imagine that they haven't spent loads of it because obviously they were aware that they'd be meeting in the morning. But I would guess there's maybe a few chunks missing, so I don't know whether the group would notice or not.
Let's see.
I don't know the value of gold to whiskey, but let's say they probably purchased at least 4 or 5 bottles.
Okay. Do you have thievery as a skill?
I do not.
Okay, well, I'd like you to roll it for me anyway at a -2.
Okay, so that's a D4 and a D6. I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Okay. Yeah. And McGinty, just make me a notice check, just in case.
Sure.
Do you -2 from the D6?
Oh yeah, it's always
well?
-2 to the roll if you don't have a skill.
So that's
Wonderful.
like 2 1s then.
Okay. That's a 5 on the 6 and a 4 on the 4.
Yeah, you basically, Daniels, try and do a bit of like sleight of hand to like flip up the gold nugget and catch it, so the bits you've gouged out are face down on your palm, and you whiff it. You pretty much are like ding, and you're holding it out to show that some of it's been crudely chipped away. McGinty, you obviously spot this.
Charles very slowly pulls a cigarillo out of his pocket and lights it and goes, I can see from this here rock that there are clearly missing parts in it. And from the smell of you, I can assume that those parts were used to acquire drink. And he turns to the pastor and goes, what kind of behavior is this?
Jackie, you mean to tell me that you spent last night chipping away at this damnable rock, chipping off bits and spreading it through the town so that you could get your libations? I do declare, I am most upset with you.
Now look, you've got the pastor all worked up as well. Now come on, dear fella. And Charles like pats him on the back.
Calm yourself, Pastor, before it's me giving the rights to you. That's one way you could put it. I would just say I made an investment in the future of this here town. Overpopulation, it's an issue. But I would advise that we make a move soon. I mean, there'll be a few fewer people rising this morning with us on their minds. But I would still, recommend we hightail it.
I recommend we hightail it as well. Charles, I'm sure you agree, seeing as the town is now riddled with this infliction.
I mean, I really would say that I very much doubt I'll ever be able to come back here again, considering not only is a certain very loud and angry man cross with me, there's also potentially my reputation has been slandered by a lot of people dying.
What reputation's that now, Charles?
Well, I'm a fine salesman. Anyway,
Sorry.
yeah.
Lord, what company have you given me?
So,
Pastor, I'm just keeping you in business.
indeed, John Virtue, you know in your heart of hearts, because you are a devout Christian, and you, Wheels, know, as a player with access to the sinning table, that turning away from those in dire need is a major sin. And so if you don't get to the bottom of this mystery and lift the curse that has now been spread over the entire town, you will lose your contact with the Lord.
Now, I feel a great anger inside of me today as I see these disreputable acts caused by this stinking booze-drenched man. We have a duty to this town that we now need to see out. Do you hear me? And I hope that all of you will be joining me in this righteous quest.
I feel I may have to agree with you, good sir, especially if the access to this here rock has been significantly reduced by our friend's actions. I will go with you.
What
Lead
of you
on
two, huh?
Lean on to the gold, Pastor.
Are we talking about going to the mine?
Yes, of course.
All right, let's go then.
Well, I
Quite a few
appreciate
words,
your
Howdy.
swiftness. Let us make haste then.
It's the reason we met here this morning, am I right?
Yes, well, we've been standing around watching you lot drink and hoop and holler. How about we get on our way?
Okay. So, let's say that everyone has access to a steed.
Francis.
I do have a steed. It's called Old Samuel.
Francis, McGinty, you've probably got a mule.
Yeah, he stole it from some old woman's farm.
I, of course, have a most humble donkey. Just like the
Let's
Lord
find the
himself.
Lord.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone gets on their various steeds, and using the map, you start to ride out. Okie dokie. So you start to head out toward the cave. It's a few hours ride, and it's a hot day, so you're going through your water skins and stuff. I won't make you roll to resist fatigue because that's.
While we're traveling on the horses, could I sidle up to the pastor? And first of all, go, Pastor, I'm parched. I believe you may have kept a little something for me, in order to, quench my thirst, so to speak.
Put it out of your mind now, boy. Put it out of your mind.
Pastor, you know I cannot do that. But for you, I shall try to respect the good Lord. And then, as I drift back, can I try and slip it out of the
You
pastor's...
can try. We already established you don't have thievery, right?
I have no
well,
thievery.
Wow.
That's going to be thievery a -2. This is on horseback. Do you have?
I'm quite.
Do you have riding as a skill?
No.
Let's call this a thievery roll at -3.
Alrighty. So D4 and a D6. I rolled a 6.
Okay,
and
roll
a
the
3.
6 again and add it on.
That's just a 1, so I
7
get a 7.
-3. It's still a 4. You don't do it without the pastor noticing, but you get your whiskey back.
Yeah, supposed, right?
Oh,
Is it not?
yeah, I suppose it would be actually. Well, I mean, the thing is, it would be opposed for you to notice it happening.
Right. So the fact that I've noticed anyway means it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter if I roll.
I mean,
Okay.
it depends. Are you trying to take it back off him?
I'm trying to.
You're trying
Move
to
out of the
prevent him
way,
from
yeah.
taking it at all.
I'm not a big fan of him rummaging through my
Okay.
pockets.
What?
Especially with the smell that he's about to.
Let me just look this up so I absolutely
Pardon
know
me.
I've got this right.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do a roll, and if it looks rubbish, then we can just ignore it anyway. That's a 2 and a 1. I wouldn't worry about it, Johnny.
Yeah, all right, yeah, cool. Sorry, it's been a while since I've played Savage Worlds, so...
Sorry?
Yeah, but that's not true. It's just that the players in Savage Worlds in my normal campaign don't try and steal from each other so much. Yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
you snatch your whiskey back and you drop back in the
Great.
riding line.
Yeah. I think at some point, if the pastor looks backwards, I just raise the drink to him and then take a swig.
I just like the mental image of like if you'd failed the roll, like you get your hand on the bottle, but then the hand falls off the body.
Okay, so you eventually, following the map, which, despite being crude on both sides of the page and in both senses, you make it to a cave mouth, which is quite obviously your target. This is the Lone Dune Cavern. Outside of it, you notice that there is a rickety sign. It's literally just some planks nailed to a post, and in shaky letters is painted on it, "Keep out, dangerous, by order Gubmint, Gubmint." And there's a terrible attempt at painting a skull on it.
I suspect this may have been the work of our now deceased friend, as mayhaps as a crude attempt to try and keep interested parties away from this area.
No, I would not be too sure about that, Charles. The
Yeah.
Lord may work in mysterious ways, but let me tell you, the devil works in tricksy ones. This could be a trap.
Charles, what
believe
makes
they
you
are.
say this?
I mean, and he points towards the sign. It's not exactly. I would not call it the work of the devil, unless the devil is a lot less impressive than I suspected.
Well, I suppose they do say the devil is in the details, so.
There are certainly not many details on
Yes.
this.
Well, I will take your word for it, Charles. You seem to be more of an expert in these things, but I will nonetheless be on my guard.
I mean, there's not many men who can write the word government, so I think this is legitimate.
All right, speak for yourself.
Howdy, you can have a Benny for that.
Thank you.
Charles continues walking, riding on his little donkey.
Okay. So you turn up at the mouth of the cave, past the sign, and could everyone make me either a notice check, or if you've got tracking or survival, that would do.
These are all things I do not have. So I'll roll this.
Everyone's got
Streetwise?
notice. Oh, I forgot. Me and
Oh.
Molly's, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I've
great.
got them.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I know I did tell you, yeah.
Did it last time.
I rolled a 6 and a 4 on my 6
Okay,
and 4.
so those are both aces, so re-roll both.
I rolled a 4 on my 6 and
Okay.
a 1 on my 4.
And then my rerolls get me a 5 and a 2 on the big
Okay,
and small dice
so
respectively.
that's...
So that would be an 11 on
Okay,
the
so that's a
D6.
hit with a raise.
So I rolled a 4 on my d6, a 4 on my 4. I've just re-rolled it again. It's got another 4.
Keep going.
Reroll.
Roll it again.
Oh, they explode. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
I've got a 2 on that 4 now, so that's what,
Yeah.
8, 12. Yeah.
Cool. That's hit with 2 raises.
I rolled 2 ones.
Well, good job.
Okie dokie.
Good for you.
It's the thought that counts.
Okay, so how do you just notice that there's a set of tracks going in and a set of tracks coming out? You suspect that these are the tracks of Jenkins yesterday. Virtue and McGinty, you see that yes, these are the freshest tracks, but there are also some other tracks slightly older of a few different types of tread. There are sort of, one barefoot, one very large, like almost like moccasin type, very simple shoes. There's a pair of boots sort of coming in and out. These tracks are fairly, like, they're all crisscrossed and in varying ages. It looks like some people actually frequent the front of this cave. Jackie, you notice these tracks as well, and you are absolutely certain that these tracks are not only fresh, but that they belong to a bunch of people who saw you coming and have set up an ambush around the cave and are about to start firing on you at any moment.
Oh. Wait, who notices that?
Yeah,
Jackie does.
The one who got
Old Snake
crit
Eyes
fail.
Jackie, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, fellas, I feel there may be someone watching us, and preparing to dispatch us in if we go any closer to this cave.
What? You are sure of this?
Oh, sure as I am of anything.
You're absolutely certain that every last one of you is in mortal peril this very instant.
I mean, it's not too much of a big deal for me, for reasons I shan't go into, but I imagine you all want to keep your various necks in place.
I only have one neck.
Between us, we have quite a few, howdy.
At least for the time being. But, yeah.
I'd like to draw my gun. Have it ready. And look around. Not like that.
Yeah, Charles
More
gets...
No, like that.
Charles gets off his mule and draws his rifle and looks around expectantly.
As I see everyone pulling out their weapons, I reach into my coat and pull out a crucifix. Sort of hold it aloft.
Yeah.
I scoff at the pastor and then pull out my cult peacemaker, and then in the other hand, one of the 15 sticks of dynamite in my bag. And so, now, unless you're a very good aim, I would suggest to whoever's out there that you take no further steps towards us and let us proceed with our business.
Make me some form of social check, like persuasion or intimidation. Or what?
Jeez, Jackie is so
Taunt.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're trying to
Great.
taunt them to come out of hiding. Make me a taunt roll.
Yeah. 2d6.
Jackie,
I
please be
rolled.
careful if you don't put that gun too next to the dynamite, yeah?
A 3 and a 6, so that explodes, and then a 5 on top of the 6, so 11.
Wow. You stand there and your voice kind of echoes slightly off the hills, and you hear the wind sort of like whips over the mouth of the cave. And you reckon either these people are real tough sons of guns, and like despite your excellent taunting, they ain't coming out, or it's possible. It's possible you were mistaken.
I'm gonna say these are hardened fellas surrounding us. I will keep and then I'll put away the pistol, and I will take out a second stick of dynamite, hold it in the other hand. Drastic times.
You want to be careful there with that dynamite, Jackie. I imagine maybe if it went off in the vicinity of the cave, it could cause quite a tremor. I don't particularly wish to be trapped inside this here dark, dank cave. You sure you saw these individuals?
Indeed, a tremor would be the thing to fear when I'm holding 2 sticks of dynamite. But don't worry, I am quite careful with them, and I put both into one hand and take a swig of the whiskey.
Now, where the hell did you get that?
The rest of
Please put the dynamite away before we get caught like a couple of canaries in cages.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, Pastor. I will put away 1 stick of the dynamite for you, my friend.
the rest of you are pretty convinced that there's no one watching.
I put my gun away, and I start heading towards the cave.
I pat Jackie on the back and then immediately regret it and wipe it on my coat and say, "Look now, Jackie, I appreciate you. You have some kind of condition where it makes you think the things that are happening aren't actually happening, and vice versa in this case. So how about we just crack on with the old mission that we came here to do? Yes.
Sure thing, Pastor. I'll be watching our backs.
All right now. I'm gonna try and wash mine after this conversation."
Charles is gonna holster his rifle and turn to his mule, give it a good slap on the bum.
Okay.
And go. I know we may not have known each other very long, and I know I didn't necessarily acquire you through legal means, but we have an agreement here, do we not? Goodbye. He's looking into the mule's eyes. Yeah. And he pulls out of his pocket some beans and shows them to the mule and offers them.
The mule starts visibly salivating.
He's gonna feed them to the mule.
Okay. Yeah, the mule starts eating some cold beans.
Yeah, there you go now. We got an exchange here. And then Charles starts walking towards the others.
Great. Okay, so you leave the mule eating a tin of beans, and you start to move in to the cave. Needless to say, it is very, very dark in there. You go no further than a foot before you can barely see your hand in front of your face.
I light the fuse of the dynamite for a second before realizing, just out of habit, before realizing and then pulling the fuse out.
So you're now there with the scant light of a single fuse. Does anyone else have anything? Let's say that there's like that one of you brought a lantern. Why not?
Yeah, the pastor.
It's a mine, right? There might be one on the wall.
This isn't a mine.
Why don't you?
No.
No? Oh, okay. This is a regular
just a
old
cave.
cave.
Why don't you ask your lord to provide some light, Pastor?
Well, that is not one of the powers that I picked during the character creation.
I believe it's one of the powers of the Lord, though, am I not?
Oh, my lord! A demon!
Oh my god!
It's ghost cat!
So anyone watching who knows Reloaded, obviously in Reloaded you would just make an appeal to the Lord and the faith die would determine whether or not you can just do a miracle. Now, Blessed's work on PowerPoints, the same as Huckster's. Fascinating! And so you have to pick your powers.
Let's say Charles has a pack of matches.
Okay,
in his
I'm
pocket.
literally offering one of you a lantern, if you want one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Howdy's got a lantern. McGinty, you can still light matches and stuff if you'd like.
If it makes you feel any better.
He lights a match and then he sees Howdy's got his
Okay.
lantern. He goes, oh, okay. And then he uses it to light his cigarette.
Howdy kind of...
Is that... Can I...
Carry on.
Sorry. No. I was just going to say, now that it's lit, is there like any kind of like... now that it's really lit in here,
Yeah.
like is there any kind of... can I just do a general perception check in the cave? Like, does it look like we can gauge what kind of activities have been had in here
everyone
so
make me a
far,
notice
sort of
roll.
thing?
Yeah, why not?
Everyone.
Stands to reason that you'd all be looking.
I've
I
got
rolled a 6
Keep
on my
going.
6.
I got an 8 on a d6.
I got 5 on a 6.
I got a 6 and 4 and a 2 on my 4.
So you basically your highest result is a 6. Okay.
Yeah, I basically
Cool.
got a raise.
No, you didn't. So if your total is 6,
No, I've rolled 6 on my 6 and
then
we rolled
what
it.
did you get? Sorry. Oh,
4
okay,
on the
right.
6.
Sorry, then yes,
2 on
that's
the-
a
2
hit
on
with a
the
raise. Sorry, it's just it's easiest if you just give me your highest number.
All right.
So you've got a hit with a raise. Howdy.
I got a 4 and the 6.
Okay.
I've got hit with
Okay.
a raise.
So 2 hits with a raise, and 2 hits. Yeah, what's
For me, I got a
yes,
5
so
on a
that's
6.
That's a hit. Okay, so the cave sort of as Howdy sort of pans the lantern over. It's just like it's fairly high up. The roof of this cave is about let's call it 15 foot high, and it's kind of sprawls off into the darkness beyond the range of Howdy's lantern. There are a few sort of stalagmites. It's kind of like it's that sort of red sedimenty rock, like that kind of comes in layers.
Like a
yeah.
mesa.
And it seems pretty barren in here. Like there's no like signs of industry or real activity. However, you do notice, those of you that hit with a raise, that there are tracks leading off to one particular direction, which is from where you're standing, the top left-hand corner, that seems to be leading off into another bit of the tunnel network. And also, those of you who hit with a raise, you just about see him coming. We're in combat. So, what you see moving in the darkness, moving down the walls, you see sort of weird, chitinous, spider-like creatures. They're almost like facehuggers from Alien, actually. They've kind of got a big splay of... It's like if... they're kind of like spider crabs, but spider crabs that you think could tear your neck out if you're not careful. They've got like big, powerful mandibles, and they are moving absolutely silently. But as you kind of look to see one of them, you hear a low hiss start to emanate from its body, and you see this. And now we're in combat. So the way combat works is with a deck of cards. I'm going to deal each of you a card. This will determine your turn order because we'll count down from king. Aces are always low. If you get a joker, you can choose whenever you want. Like you can choose when you go. And if you get a joker, everyone gets a Benny. That's nice. So.
A Benny Hill.
So.
My good companions, we must be careful. It seems like this cave goes by the name of Nick because it is full of bad seeds.
Wow, what a reference!
I do not understand what you're talking about, my friend.
Egads. Okay, so, howdy. That is an 8 for you. So, howdy. 8.
Gladly.
There's a queen for you, Matt Jarvis.
Hey, queen for a queen.
That is me.
That is... Oh, hey! It's a joker for McGinty.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone gets a Benny. And that is a 9 for you there, Virtue. 9 for Virtue. And then I'm just going to deal for my friends down here.
Friends.
My friends. You know.
Okay.
Okay. So, no one got a king. Just let me know when you want to go, McGinty. A queen would be Jackie. Jackie, you can see there are 5 wall crawlers, as they are known, skittering down the walls. They're going to try and cross the floor, or leap at you, or drop on you, or whatever, and tear you to shreds. What are you going to do?
Well, I've got a quick draw holster, which I don't know if it applies in this here situation, but I would assume that it does. Well, you tell me this here, Marshall. Could I throw this stick of dynamite, which no longer has a fuse? Because there are quite a few. I suppose dynamite is probably overkill. But yeah, okay. No, can I throw the stick of dynamite at the group of things, just as like a? Oh my goodness, there's a lot of these. Throw, shoot. Can I then attempt to shoot the dynamite by quick drawing out of the holster?
The dynamite. Okay, yeah, you can do this. You're going to be at a -4, so you can throw the dynamite.
Oh goodness!
Because it's basically a second action to shoot it, and it's a small target. That's 2 -2 penalties. The good news is, if you didn't have a quick draw holster, this would be at a -6. So every cloud, you know. But yeah,
wonderful stuff.
You can try it if you want.
I would love to try that. I'd like to point out I have the skill of.
Okay, cool. Yeah, make me a throwing roll. I won't give you a multi-action penalty for this because I'm feeling generous.
It's very kind of you, Marshall. I appreciate that. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Well, that's better than a 1 and a 1.
This is true, Pastor. Can I use a Benny?
Absolutely, you can use a Benny to reroll that.
Do I reroll both dice?
No, you always reroll both.
Okay, wonderful stuff. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
On which die was the 1?
They're both D6.
Okay. Because normally you keep track of which one's the wild die, but I forgot to mention that. So we'll be kind and say it wasn't on your skill die. So basically, you throw the dynamite, but it lands nowhere near the wall crawlers, or rather, it falls short. So it's kind of midway between you all. Do you still want to shoot the dynamite, or would you rather just shoot at a wall crawler?
I think if the dynamite is nowhere near him, perhaps shooting it is the wrong way to go. So I would just try and shoot one of these here.
Okay, then in that case, it's just a -2 penalty because you're not aiming for something small.
Okay. I don't know what roll I have for the old peacemaker. Oh wait. Well, I don't know. What do I roll?
Shooting.
Oh, I do not have shooting as a skill.
Then
I'm really good at fighting.
fighting is all melee stuff, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's okay. Me, I will shoot it regardless and see what
Okay,
happens.
so that's
Wow.
D4 minus 4.
It turns
Wow.
out that I do not often need to shoot while around the gambling table. I got a 2 on the D4 and a 4 on the D6, which I
You
imagine
miss.
is
The
not
bullet
enough.
just goes straight into the wall. So that is Jackie's go.
I'm gonna
Okay,
go next.
cool.
Yeah. Quick question. Am I allowed to use the weapons I got in our last session?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. I brought that Springfield
Okay.
rifle.
Oh wow, that wasn't the weapon I thought you were going to say, but sure, yeah, you've got a Springfield rifle.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna go Gatling pistol.
No. What were the stats for that again?
Let me just pull them up. Springfield 58. Rate of fire 1, damage 2d10, range 24, 48, 96. So you're well within range. 1 shot, 2 turns to reload.
8, 96, 2 turns to reload. Yeah.
Did you go for that one in the end? You didn't go for the Sharps Big 50?
I went for the one that I couldn't, because I put some.
Oh, that's
my
right. You did go for the Springfield. Yeah.
Yeah, because I put some extra into my strength that meant I could carry it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use my Springfield 58 rifle. Yeah, Charles is going to shoot at one of
the wall crawler.
The little
All
crawlers.
right, make me a shooting roll, please.
I have a D6 in shooting. Oh, that's not good. I rolled a 3 on my skill die, and a 1 on the other die.
That is a miss. Do you want to spend a penny?
Yeah,
Okay.
I will actually. Okay.
Howdy's hat is completely keyed out and is very funny.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with some of that active stealth camouflage.
Do I
Yes.
re-roll both? Oh, I rolled a 1 on my skill die,
Which one of you's...
and 4 on
Okay.
the other one.
Oh, a 4 on the other one. Okay, that is a hit. That's fine. It's not a crit
Okay.
fail, and you don't
Okay.
have the hindrance that means that you always hit somebody. So that's fine. You have hit.
Yep.
So roll me your
Okay.
damage, please.
That's 2d6.
No, 2D,
No, 2d8.
2d10 on a Springfield, mate.
No, 2d10.
Yeah.
Forgive me. 2d10, yeah, of course. Alright. I rolled a 1 and a 9.
Okay, so 10 damage. Okay, you hit a wall crawler square in like its abdomen, and it kind of loses its grip on the wall and hits the deck for a few seconds. But then its legs start twitching and it's kind of trying to get itself back up again.
Will our posse survive the attack? What are wall crawlers want with gold? And will anyone's American accent improve in the slightest? Spoilers for that one. No, but if you're interested in finding out the answers to the other 2 questions, join us next week on Deadlands: The Weird West.